Ladies and gentlemen, your hosts, Michael Wilkes, Angel Ortiz, Dr. Chad, and Sam La Cavera. Go check out beardedbrowns.com and be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Enjoy the show.
What is up? What is up, everybody? We are here on this wonderful Tuesday, Victory Tuesday show, folks. It's been a while since I said that. It's been a long time, it feels like, that we can sit here and say that we have a Victory Tuesday show. Browns win 24-10 over the Las Vegas Raiders. The defense goes into Vegas and feast all over Geno Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of feast, we have a special show in store for us today. Sweet taste of victory indeed, James. It's going to be even sweeter because we have a great collab today. And I'm unfortunately sad that Chad can't be a part of this because he's so far away. Maybe next time we can tell them to send a frozen sub ahead of time.
I would love that. Do it.
I might run that past them and see if they'll do it. We have a kind of a new partner we're working with right now. It's called Original Steak and Hoagies. Look at this, baby. This is the original, the OG.
The original cheesesteak and hoagies,
Original cheesesteak. Look at that. Delish. They
That's
dropped
got
me
nothing.
and Michael. Yeah.
Dude, that's got nothing on this spicy Italian, dude. Look at this thing.
Look at that spicy Italian.
And I'm not bragging, honestly, dude. This sandwich it's 2 pieces of that for $13. You can't beat that. I'm not kidding, dude. And
it's ridiculous. I haven't even tasted mine yet, and I'm going to.
I did.
I'm going to do a live taste on the show. But my wife tried the chicken, and she's supposedly a vegetarian 10%, 90% of the time, but she said the chicken, spicy chicken sandwich is really good, which is in front of me too. I'm going to try that. But Original Steak and Hoagies locations are everywhere in Northeast Ohio and Tennessee, specifically West Park, Olmsted, and in Cleveland. They want to push right on Grayton Road by the airport, by Graywood Tavern is their bigger location. But go there. They have 2 for $20. You get 2 small hoagies and 2 small fries for $20 right now. They're running a special. But Mike, you tell them a little more about about who they are.
The history's actually kind of cool. So in 2010, Billy from Philly created the Original Cheesesteak and Hoagies Company. 2017, Jeff and Josh brought said company to Twinsburg, Ohio. 2018, they moved to Fairlawn. They got a food truck and a trailer. Cleveland locations all around Parma, West Park, Olmsted. They're everywhere. They are literally everywhere. They're popping up all over the place, which is great because, not gonna lie, when you guys try this, you're not gonna regret it. But if you're out in Wisconsin, Tennessee, Maryland, or Chicago, check them out as well. But Jesse, the man, the district manager, hooked us up today. Big shout out to you guys. Thank you so much. This stuff is amazing.
That the OG, that Philly is really good. I'm telling you, cheesy is perfect. It's got the right amount of mushrooms. I'm not a mushroom guy, but it's small enough to you to eat it and not feel like you taste it. It's got a good kick to it. Not big kick, but enough to be like, that's delicious. Good sandwich, man. Good sandwich. I will try this chicken one later. I don't want to eat up all this food on the show because we actually have really good things to talk about with this team. Well, depending on whether you look at it from a perspective of good or bad. Shedeur did good. He did really good. But when you dig a little deeper, like we do here in this podcast, you realize, well, maybe we need to kind of balance ourselves. And we're here for balance, folks. We're going to bring some balance to you today. We're not going to be negative. We're not going to be, haters. But we're going to be real. We're going to be honest with you. Shador Sanders played well. But there's some things that we're going to bring up to kind of say, hey, let's pause the brakes before we put the crown on his head for now. I'm a big believer in him. We're a big believer in the podcast of Shedeur. We believe we want him to work as much as the quarterback most people want him to draft. I think that's the quickest way for this team to succeed is have Shedeur be the guy. Nonetheless, we're going to be here. We're going to talk about it. First, we're going to talk about top stories. Speaking of Shedeur, he made history. The first Browns quarterback to win his first start since 1995. Eric Zaire was the quarterback that time. Won in overtime against the Cincinnati Bengals 24-21. But his performance was pretty good, guys. What do you guys think about that? Him making history. Actually, you lost 5 games against the Raiders and you end up beating them. So that's another streak that he ended up breaking.
Really quick, I'm going to break up a whizzy tot. Guys, this is fried cauliflower. I'm not kidding. And it is spicy mayonnaise, and it is wonderfully delicious. Go ahead, Chad.
Well, I was going to say it tempers the excitement a little bit when you say, like, first time, last person to do it was Eric Zaire. I wanted to hear, like, the last person to do it was, like, Bernie Kosar, and you're like, whoa, like, somebody great. And instead it was, like, the last person to do it was this quarterback who, like, wasn't really a franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
And so, like, I feel like that tempers it. But I do think, I've said this before, every single, we'll call it negative record. Is that what we call it? Every single negative record that the Browns break is important. And I don't think this is as important to Shador Sanders because his career is not going to be defined by this game. I hope. It's more important to the Browns that now no longer can anybody say the Browns haven't had a rookie quarterback win since a week ago. Next year it would be, if let's say we had a new quarterback, they'd be like, well, this just happened last year. Every time we have these long, terrible streaks from this bad era of this team broken, that is just a massive, like, cultural shift because it's just a joke off the radar of the national media that can't be out there.
Ian Coleman, just look at that. Look at that. Calling out the whizzy tot, aka Keeper. That's fitting for today.
That's fun.
That is fitting.
That is fitting for sure. Mike, what about you, sir?
I was thoroughly impressed with the play, better than what we saw with him getting rushed in at halftime for the Ravens game. Although we were playing the Raiders and they looked like, when you sit there and you think, like, I have the worst team in the league. I'm a fan of the worst team in the league, and that's the Cleveland Browns. You watch the Oakland Raiders. You watch the Las Vegas Raiders play. It's bad. Just when you think you're bad, that's bad. That's a bad situation over there. But I think with only having a week of preparation, we won the game. I'll take that. A win's a win, especially a road win, which we haven't seemed to had in quite a while. I did like a couple plays that he had. So I will take that, and everybody take that in consideration. Hopefully he can do that again against 49ers next week. We will see. It's one game, but he did say that he is what we need. So prove that.
Yeah, his post-game press conference, we'll talk about a little bit, was interesting to say the least. I thought Sanders did well. I thought he did good. You
guys can go ahead and talk. I'm going to eat.
We're going to probably break down a little more later, but it's good to see him finally, like Chad said, get the monkey off our back. We're no longer here. It's been this long since the Browns did this. It's just one less thing that the Browns have underneath their belt. And also, I mean, we can even say this is kind of a culture changer that you could sit there and say, well, we brought in a rookie quarterback that we had practice for a week, and he did well enough to not make us lose because our defense did a lot of it, helped us put in a position to win. Now, Shedeur hit some great plays, and we'll talk about again later, but I think this team, I think him growing each week is what I'll be looking forward to from this point forward, to see how they develop him from this point on. And I already see in the chat, fire Kevin. It's weird to me, and I'll just say this: you're going to fire a coach and an offensive coordinator. I've even seen this on my personal wall on Facebook whenever I post anything about Shedeur. You had a coach and an offensive coordinator who prepped his kid all week, and he looked as good as he did in the preseason in the half of a game against Baltimore. He improved, but yet you want to get rid of a coach who spent hours upon hours. It's out now. The report's out that he spent hours by himself training, developing this kid on his own time. You guys want to just say,
it's
forget
worth
him.
me jumping in to say, like, the amount of times on this show or in social media that I've said, it is not the head coach's job to develop your quarterback. It is your quarterback coach's job. And then probably next up is your offensive coordinator. And honestly, probably third up is him just learning by example at the other guys in the room. But we know from reporting all the way back since summer in the early and before in the early camps, what Angel just said, that Kevin has been taking aside him during either other team activities or before or after practice to work with him individually to help his development. That is not the normal protocol. That is extra. That is by far extra.
Yeah,
Let me ask you guys something. Did you notice something different with the offensive line besides, playing against the Raiders defensive line, which has struggled?
Yeah,
Did the offensive line?
I was just gonna say, I think the offensive line. I mean, it's not like we were blowing everybody off the ball, but I really think of the Raiders as like a one line team, sort of like we've been at times where it's like Miles and everyone else. And so I don't know if I could put a lot into that or not.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would agree with Chet. I think that because you said it too, Mike. It was the Raiders. So you're like, what a defensive line is the Raiders. Like Max Crosby is the only guy that I thought can do things, and he actually did things. He didn't go off like Miles would, but he still made an impact on the game a little bit to where they had to defend him and account for him, I should say. But going back to the Kevin thing, he not only has done a well developing. Hopefully develop Shador, but he's done well developing, Q. All these other rookies. I mean, he's in charge of all this stuff. He's making sure coaches are developing the rookies. This is a big year, I think, for Kevin. And I think the owner has seen the work he has put behind the scenes to develop a Shador. That's why he's kind of like, well, we're gonna keep him around a little longer because it's not all on him. It's on us
I
because we
guess
made a huge mistake.
it's also worth mentioning, like, I don't want to get way off track off this one comment, but like, I don't know the context of this commenter, but like, do you like what Tommy Reese is doing early in his career as a very young guy? Do you like Shador Sanders as quarterback? Do you like Schwartz as your defensive coordinator? Because for like the millionth time, if you fire Kevin, you fire everybody, because a new head coach will come in and he will bring the guy he wants as defensive coordinator. He will bring the guy he wants as offensive coordinator and potentially play caller. And all of these players, Andrew Berry has been picking to go with Schwartz and with Kevin and however you want to look at it. Like, everything changes. Like, when you change a head coach, you aren't just like, well, I like everything as it is, but just a new head coach. Like, that's never happened. It's never happened. Like, I can't think of any examples. Like, it's not like every single person has to be fired, but in almost every case, almost every person is fired. And just like if you fire a GM, your scouts are probably gone. Your head of player personnel is probably gone. Your head of scouting is probably gone. Your assistant GMs are probably gone. Like, it's not just a one-man show. The people under them get replaced within the year.
Maybe we can do a whole Kevin show because his comments are going off about Kevin. Well, we'll have to pivot real quick. Speaking of Kevin, we're going to stay on him, obviously.
Speaking of coaches that got
he named Shador Sanders the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers game, and that was before he said Dylan was going to start because he was healthy after. Well, he's more or less than not said these words, but then at the performance, he obviously talked to the guy. You know what I can't stand? It's this media when they ask right after the game, is he going to start? And they're like, he says, well, no, I'm not going to make. Basically, I always say, guys, I'm not making that decision right now. We're going to. It's a collaborative effort. He doesn't make decisions. Like, when is the media going to understand he's not the final decision maker? It's a collaborative effort. They go together in a room and they said, "What did he do good? What did he do bad? Dylan did this. He didn't improve. Sanders looked a lot better. Perfect. All right, it's collaborative."
I will
effort.
tell you
Let's start him.
exactly what happened. Monday morning, Myles Garrett woke up and figured out that Stefanski still's got this thought in his head that Dylan Gabriel was going to start. So you know what Myles did? Went and bopped him upside the head, gave him another concussion with a helmet. Boom. Shador Sanders is your starter.
Conspiracy. No, that's why Kevin that can't come out and announce anyone's starter right away. So let's stop.
And when does the media just going to stop asking questions they know aren't going to get answered? It's a waste of everyone's time too. Like, they'll ask it like literally minutes after the game, knowing like this isn't, like you said, this isn't a decision he's going to tell you, and they'll ask it, and it's like, stop asking the question when you know the answer is not coming or you know what you're going to get. Ask something different. Crazy.
100%. But he announces Shador Sanders as the starting quarterback, and I know a lot of people before then were worried. They're like, if he doesn't make Shador Sanders the starting quarterback, it's coaching malpractice. And it's like, he hates him. He hates him. Speaking of, he hates him. He didn't give him a game ball after the game, and that's a big deal because you're supposed to give him a game ball. But he gave Myles one. He didn't give Shedeur one. Where you guys are on that? Do you think he should have gave him a game ball?
2 people broke records, one being a career record, one being just a record that is almost meaningless to anybody but Cleveland fans. I'm not going to say meaningless because that's obviously big for him coming into that and winning the first game as a rookie for his first start, that's big for him. Obviously, Cleveland wanted him to win. Everybody around this world wanted Shedeur to win. But Myles Garrett, man, you get every ball from that game, dude.
Yeah, I just think it's like I'm first of all, I'm shocked that just out of standard practice he just didn't give him a game ball because he's the quarterback and it was his first win. But I know that is not Kevin is not standard practice, so it shouldn't really surprise me. I think a lot of coaches just would have done it because they're like, well, you get a game ball. I think Kevin is very like, this is not an individual effort. This was a team win kind of person. And again, there are other guys that got game balls, but just my personal opinion, when we get to Sanders, we'll talk about it. But like, this was a game where Sanders showed some good stuff. But if Sanders is worth his hype in any way, he's going to have games so much better than this where you get a game ball. And it's not because you threw for 140 yards and 1 touchdown and 1 interception. It's going to be because you threw for 300 and 3 touchdowns. And that's when you're going to get your game ball. I just think if anybody who's mad at this, that he didn't get a game ball, but actually thinks he's going to be good, I would just say be patient, because then this wasn't a mind-blowing performance by a quarterback. If you think he's as good as that, then he'll do much, much better, and he'll get a game ball.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with James said. He normally gives up multiple game balls. He does. Game balls are free. I mean, I'm sure they could give 50 people game balls a game after each game.
You want them to mean something, though, right?
Yeah,
you want them to
mean something. Right. You want it to mean something.
That was big for him, though. Sorry, I'm just going to say that was a big game for him. He won his first NFL game. That's big. I would also
say Dylan did not get a game ball when he won his first game. So Kevin is fair in that aspect. So if we're going to look at it from a plain balanced view, Dylan didn't get a game ball. Shedeur didn't get a game ball. Myles got a game ball both times. I tell you.
Kevin did announce as well in the locker room, said, offense, you did a great job today. Still a lot of work needs to be done.
He did say
there's your game ball. There's your game ball right there.
Before we move on to, since this is a great transition for this, you just mentioned Dylan didn't get a game ball for his first win. Like I said, for me, that would have been a standard. Like, you're a rookie quarterback, you got your first win. Here's a game ball. He'll probably keep the ball. He'll probably will keep the real game ball. Chances are Shedeur and Dylan both walked out of those games with an actual game ball from their first game and their first win. I mean, but another consistency that I would just like to break before we even get deep into it, because I don't think it's anywhere on our outline, is I'm seeing all this stuff about like how could coach take Sanders out on the goal line and go Wildcat. I just would like to bring up once again, he did the exact same thing. I believe it was against Miami to Dylan in the game where they were actually having their best offensive, like their best scoring performance for the season. They also took out um, Gabriel in that situation, and I think it was Fannin that ran the Wildcat in the red zone. And it's just one of those where it's like, let's not find things that aren't there by looking too hard, because this is just stuff that is not related to a particular player. Obviously, it's related to the situation.
I for the record,
and by the way, it worked.
Agree. Yeah, we agree with you, Herbert. He should have got a game ball. We agree with
I think so too. I also think Dylan should have got one back then.
Yeah, Dylan should also got a one when he got his first victory. What we're saying is it's Kevin's pattern not to give a game ball to a quarterback when they win. So it's not surprising to me that he didn't. Yeah. That's all we're saying. We're agreeing. We're agreeing. We're just coming out. We're saying it differently. But yeah, again, you bring up I was trying to look for that game, but it was a Miami game where he pulled out Dylan. And I have another theory. Maybe they didn't practice goal line plays right away with Shedeur because they were focused on other areas in which he could improve. So doing the Wildcat was something they implemented since the beginning of the season. It was just easy for them to do. Just my hot take on that.
So I got to bring up James Frank. I just said this the other day. I was like, they found it weird. After the game, we were talking about it. They're like, dude, they brought him in. They brought Judkins in twice for that goal line play, and he scored twice. And I said the exact same thing James Frank just said. I was like, it's just like, I'm sure the running back whose name I can't think of for the Eagles would much rather Barkley would much rather have a handoff there when it's first and goal from the one. And I'm sure Hurts would rather not get smashed in a pile. But they know this play works and they do it.
That
and
hurts?
it continues to work. Oh yeah.
Hurts.
Yeah, all the quarterbacks that I've talked about are like, it's not comfortable to get somebody behind you smashing you in a pile that's going the other way.
Especially well, my point is, like, quarterback, they're looking to hurt you.
I just think it's really interesting that he brought that up because I said the exact same thing. I'm like, this could be our tush push if it keeps working. And then the only other thing I would like to bring up on that same play, and then we can move on, is 4th and 1 on the goal line. Let's say after that Isaiah Bond catch. Okay. Who would you guys say is the overall best player on our offense?
Judkins.
Do you think we have very good pass blocking right now?
Nope.
No.
Are our receivers reliable?
Yes.
Obviously not.
I'm kidding. No,
let's just say, the reason I bring it up this way, the reason I take us through those real quick is, okay, so Shedeur stays out here. What are you guys calling on 4th and goal? I mean, 1st and goal. What are you guys calling for the first play on 1st and goal in that situation?
I would run to Judkins.
Yeah, you would run to Judkins. You would have.
Yeah, you're going to run with Judkins. So everybody was so out of shape. Sanders was off the player. And I'm like,
yeah.
So if you're just going to hand it off to Judkins anyway, you now throw the defense off by just giving it directly to him. And it's like, you were definitely going to hand it off. And guess what? We were going to get it because Judkins can get that play against a bad defensive line. Like, people talk about Mason Crosby playing nose tackle for them because they're just going to run it straight up that terrible. There was no passing play for a touchdown there, guys who are like, he got cheated out of a couple touchdown passes. Like, they were not throwing there. They were running it 3 times in a row, maybe 4.
Let's be realistic too. Our red zone percentage in the red zone is not great. So if you got the ball at the 1 yard line,
spot for any
everybody,
but a rookie quarterback, like a red zone offense is tough. Like you don't want to play in shotgun. Field. You kind of screw yourself up. Yeah, it's a smaller field, and like you kind of have to half the field no matter what because you can't look through progressions. Like they're gonna bomb you. So yeah. Anyways, yes, in the future I expect Sanders to be out there, but I did think it was really, really funny because we were handing it off, guys. We were definitely handing it off.
I'll also add, don't be surprised if they're just setting that play up for something later. It's going to be a Wildcat run, and all of a sudden someone's open downfield and Judkins is going to throw it.
And don't be surprised if there's a minute left in the game and we punt from the 30-yard line as well.
A shocker.
And don't be surprised if Sanders ends up being our like long-term quarterback. If they don't do a Wildcat at some point and Sanders is somewhere in that mix and everybody's like, uh-oh, what are they going to do now? Like they're setting up plays for any time this year, next year, whenever.
You know what I'm thinking of when we talk about that is that infamous pass from guess receiver to Baker Mayfield. Who threw that pass? Remember that touchdown pass?
It was Jarvis. It was
Yeah.
Jarvis. Yeah.
Yep, Landry. Beautiful
One of the
pass.
best moments. This is one of the best moments ever.
Right.
Sadly.
Yeah. Yeah, let's move on. We're going to move on to the defense top story. Defense got Chip Kelly fired. It's like that was a straw that broke the camel's back, unfortunately, for Chip Kelly. The 10 sacks allowed, and the lack of moving the ball on defense. Geno Smith was mad all game. All game, he was cussing, taking his helmet off, cussing on the sideline. Not really felt bad, but I felt empathy for him.
I felt great.
I know. I'm with Mike. I'm with Mike, and it's like
I was like, man, this guy's trying so hard.
Yeah, you had a great career, man. Sorry about today, but this defense is just not a defense that's going to let a guy like Geno Smith and the lack of weapons the Raiders have. Like, no offense, maybe Ashton Genty comes around and becomes Quinshad Judkins when he grows up, but the the lack of weapons that the Raiders have and like the lack of just explosion or like elite qualities of Geno Smith, like that was never going to fly against this Browns defense, especially a defense that just is very frustrated with the losing and just has not turned the motor down at all. And since we're talking Chip Kelly and I feel worse for Geno than Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly, I still remember as the guy who was a great Oregon coach, got everybody excited for evolving college football with the speed of his play calling and his offense. Took a job after interviewing with the Cleveland Browns. And then I don't know how many people remember this. Then after it was reported, Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, like the Browns are hiring Chip Kelly as their new head coach. And then the next day, Chip Kelly went and took a job back with the Oregon Ducks. And it seemed very clear that he was just leveraging the Browns to get a new contract with the Ducks. And honestly, I know a lot of people loved him calling plays for Ohio State. I never forgiven him for that. I've always been like, there's always been a little bit in here that he pulled that on us, because it's not only that he didn't take this job at a time where we were desperate for a coach. It just made everybody look bad. It was another thing that looked foolish when it didn't have to. He shouldn't have pulled a move like that. It was shady from the start.
He kind of really didn't have success after leaving, anyways. Kind of left once he left.
And he didn't have success in the NFL, right? So like you look back at it and you're like, okay, well, I mean, who did he coach for a little while? The Eagles. Like he hasn't been successful like we thought. But at that time, that was a very hopes up. Yep. That was the young Browns fan in me that was like, every year is like, yeah, we're just going to get the coach and the quarterback and we're going to roll. And then things just kept going wrong. And so that still has stuck with me that he did that.
I'm going to quote Sam real quick on this Browns defense this week with the 10 sacks. Sam pulled up next to me yesterday and scared the crap out of him. I thought it was somebody random, but it was Sam while I was working. And this dude said Browns defense was handing out sacks like Oprah was handing out cars in the 1990s. You get a sack. You get a sack. You get a sack. Everybody gets a sack. But it's the Raiders, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not forget that. Move on to next week. Go ahead, Angel. I'm sorry for interrupting.
I thought the defense made havoc. We'll talk a little more about how impactful that front line is, and it's beautiful to see Miles just free, and it's even better to see not just Miles free, but everybody else get better because Miles is great in the development of one guy that we love, Mason Graham. On to news on the Browns talk real quick. What are you guys' thoughts on the new uniform combo? White tops, brown, like orange bottoms.
I'll go I'll go first, man. We won. That's all that matters. I don't care what uniform they wear. I did not like it at first, but hey, if it pulls off a win, I'm all for it. I didn't just the orange pants is what threw it all off with the white top, white helmet. I love the white helmet, but if you're going to do it, rock all white.
I can say the same thing as I said when the Cavs trotted out those orange, like almost creamsicle color uniforms. And I was like, immediate look, like it throws me off. I'm not used to it and I don't love it. And I was like, and it could grow on me, and winning in them will absolutely help. And so now today I'm like, yeah, it's not bad. Not too bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like them. It's weird because they win in special uniforms. So is that like fate trying to tell the Browns like change
Dude,
up the
people
uniforms,
tell
man?
you, man, you look good, you feel
You
good,
look
you
good, you
play
feel
good. That's
good,
why.
you win. So I love my favorite are the all white. I love the all white. I
Same.
do like the alpha brown too. I think they should just switch to
Dude,
those, but that's just
I
my
went
opinion.
years hating the white jerseys. Like I just do not like all white. A lot of teams have them. I don't love the white tops as like a top.
The
But when you
whiteouts.
do the all white with the white helmet,
Yeah.
I immediately changed my mind.
Yeah.
I remember saying like, I'm gonna hate these, and then they put them on, even in the photo shoot, and I was like, oh, it's so clean. It's so clean. It looks
Yeah.
so bad to me with an orange helmet, with the white helmet. I'm like, clean.
I
It's
like
so
that.
clean.
Yeah.
That just
That
looks
helmet is sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
looks
That's my
good.
favorite. I think over time that and the Alpha
Oh,
Dog
I
helmet is
show
my
this off.
favorite.
Yeah,
Those two are
that's
my
what I'm
favorite
doing.
helmets.
This is my favorite.
Yeah.
There you
Oh,
go.
because it's signed by Carson Schlesinger. Yep, I'm showing off. Yep,
And
that's
again,
me right now. No.
I'm just like the Cavs. Like I loved the Cavs City Connect jersey last year, that light blue. This year, I was like, I could hate this jersey unless. And then they made this great comeback in it, and I was like, actually, it's grown on me already. And the same thing, I didn't think I would like it all the all Browns, and then they had those Baker games where they were really good in them, and I'm like, I kind of coming around to the all brown. So
Yeah.
It looked good when they were playing Green Bay. That's for sure. In person, it's even better. It seems. I don't know what it is, but those guys just don't forget. Those are represented by Dude Wipes. So
Yeah, I was gonna say sponsored by Do Wipes, huh?
they had to
you
know what
guys
they were
picked the
doing there.
worst thing.
And
Like,
that's
come
a
on,
good
that's
market. They know
Cleveland.
people are going to make fun of it. They know people are going to talk about it. It's
But
just
they knew it
great
was going to be
marketing.
out
They
there.
do it. Yeah, they do it. On to the next thing. I don't know if people caught this on the telecast. I caught it and put it in the notes right away because I knew I would forget. Watson's cleared to travel with the team, and Barry wants Watson around. I don't know if you guys heard that, but if you did, what was your thoughts?
I mean, it
About
seems
damn
very
time.
obvious
I'm
why.
done.
No, it seems very obvious why. I mean,
He's owed
he
a
has a
lot of
connection
money.
with Shedeur. No, I mean, he's worth a lot of money, and they can't do anything about it. So they have done a big job. Both Barry and Kevin have done a job of like promoting him. Like, hey, he's still in the room. He's still helping. He's still working hard. So Mike and I were arguing about like a
I'm
veteran
not
in the
arguing
room. I'm
about
like,
nothing. I'm shoving this
they
hoagie in my
keep bringing
face.
up like they keep bringing up that he's in there and he's contributing in the film room and he's mentoring Dylan and Sanders, and him and Sanders have this great connection and relationship. And I think it's very obvious if you saw the sidelines and how often Sanders and he talk. I made the joke in the actual bar watching the game at the Browns backers bar. Like I'm not sure I remember him looking at the iPad so much when he was a starting quarterback. It's when Shedeur is playing. So I'm like, let's go ahead and yeah. I mean, I'm fine keeping him around if he's doing something. Like I'm done with throwing away players because I'm annoyed with them. If he's contributing somehow to this team winning or the development of people that we are going to keep around, he might as well get something out of him because he certainly doesn't play.
I'm going to bring up conspiracies until one of them actually happens. What if he coaches Shador Sanders so well, Shedeur starts shining, and then we
That he didn't have a
null his
job no more.
contract, and then we bring him here as a quarterback coach, Deshaun Watson as a quarterback coach.
Look at the opposite side of it. What happens if he does a really good job mentoring? He's working hard. He's showing everything, and then next year he comes around, and they're like, he's still under contract. He takes Shador's job as a starter. Will people lose their or what?
I actually had that same thought, Chad. Believe it or not, I said, what if what if Shedeur wins 2 to 3 more games? That pushes them away from a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
They can get
hold
into receiving territory or offensive lineman.
Two might be enough. That's 5 wins.
Are you ready? Super Bowl.
No,
Super
Brown.
Brown.
I don't think it's going to put you in the Super Bowl, but I think it's going to definitely push you out of the top 10. So you're not they're not going to trade up for a quarterback. They can't risk any more assets for a quarterback. They're going to draft where they draft at that point. So you get a receiver and an offensive lineman. You bring back Watson. You can develop Shedeur still, and you still have Watson for one more year, and then Shedeur for the remaining of his contract. while you're building up a team in front of him to come back. That's an
People will
option.
hate that. I will be a rare person that actually I don't hate that option. I think Watson's more talented than Shedeur. I don't
agree.
know that he'll ever show that again. But at his prime, I think it was pretty consensus. It would be that he was the better prospect and player. But I think we are at the point where everyone hates Watson is here. Everybody wants him gone. I think he probably will end up gone. But in the back of my head, I'm like, I won't be that mad if he plays. I guess I'm just to the point where it would be hard for me to believe after that many injuries in a row and that much time off football, he would rebound. But it would not kill me if they kept him around. I think it would kill a lot of Browns fans if he was even on the roster. Even if Sanders or Dillon or anybody else started and he was still on the roster, I think it would bother so many people if he was here.
Yeah, I can tell by the comments that you're right.
Yeah, these
The
comments
are
Yeah.
going crazy about
Sam just
I think it would bother
like,
so many
can't even.
people. I'd almost be like, just get him out of here so the fans, like, for the sake of their sanity. But it's hard for me because, like, I'm trying to think logically, and I'm like, I mean, he could still.
But what
I
if
gotta
what
answer
if he
James'
helps?
question really quick. James,
Okay.
no. Dude, they're Italian, the spicy Italian,
No.
really quick, guys. Spicy mayo, hot peppers, provolone cheese, and all that meat. Will you just look
Pause.
at it? Did you say pause?
Yeah, he said all that
Sorry.
meat. I just tried their spicy chicken, and it's fire. It's fire. It's not spicy. It's got a little kick, but it's really good. Really good.
And the
I'm telling you,
OG.
if you have one, if you have original steak and hoagies, buy your house. Go tomorrow for lunch and try it. You will not regret. It's 2 for $20. Get a small fry and a small small. And by the way, the small is a good size. It's not like a Subway. It's a good. You get a good enough meat. Pause. And good enough toppings that you're going to fill yourself up. And their their appetizers are good. It's good. It's good stuff. Try it. On to the next topic, our Alpha Dog of the Week. We finally get to pick one because someone won. Alpha Dog brought to you by Allstate Insurance. Give Doug White a call today to save you money on your insurance policy. Going into the new year, maybe you can use that money to buy your Browns season tickets next year because if they're starting Watson and playing Shedeur behind them, you might want to watch that. Alpha Dog.
I'm not kidding.
Our Alpha
They
Dog.
made me save me $60 a month. I'm not kidding.
Add that up times 12, man. That's over $600 a year. That's good Browns tickets for you, Mike, next year. No? Okay.
Yeah. We're
Well,
Harry.
In a few years, it'll save you 1/25th of your PSA or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey. Every little bit
Our
counts.
Alpha Dog obviously is Miles. Myles Garrett breaks his own franchise record with 18 sacks this year. And by the way, he is leading the sack leader by a wide margin, and he is closing in on the sack record. Was it 22.5?
22.5, and he is on pace to get over 25 if he were to continue on this streak.
He's got teams where he can do it too. He's got San Francisco coming up. Their offensive line is okay. Then Chicago. Those next two games, he can probably break it by then.
Yeah, and of course I forget who brought this up. I think it was maybe Ross Tucker, which you guys know I really like Ross. He covered this game, so for anybody that's not familiar with Ross Tucker, he was the color analyst for this game. He called the game from the booth. I think he was the one that brought up like that sacks kind of come in bunches, and so like it's not like we can count on him getting all of these. It's not like, oh, he's on pace for 25, so he'll automatically get it. He's got to keep grinding at it. But just the fact that he, with this many games to go, broke his own franchise record is, I mean, guys, that's an incredible feat. Like he's doing things on a Lawrence Taylor level, which has always been looked at as like, that's the nobody will ever catch him guy.
Yeah,
right. That is the Lawrence Taylor for pass rushers is the like Jerry Rice level of like who will ever catch him type of like dude, like looking at Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, like who will ever catch these stats? And then like 2 decades later, LeBron comes around. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's good, and that's going to lead us right into the defensive recap. Game recap is the defense first. 2 more sacks brings them to 18, 22-5. And what has helped a lot is the fact that the organization has spent years building up a defense around them, and then capping it off at adding Mason Graham and Hall last year adds more talent around him to make him more free. He's free, and because he's free, offenses have to focus on him, and that gives the other guys who are actually playmakers. They're playmakers, and they're good.
Yeah, and they've built this defense for a while, and the defense has been good for a while, and Miles has been incredible for a while. We've talked about it over and over. The one thing they did this year, they tried to do it last year, and just when they brought in Mike Hall, and he ended up suspended for the portion of the beginning of the year, and it held back his development, and he didn't hit his stride the way we hoped. And in fact, it looks like he's just now hitting his stride after being back for several weeks. He looked good again this week. But what they did this year that was different was, instead of bringing him in a counterpart bookend in Jadeveon Clowney, Zadarius Smith, like this whole slew of guys on the other end, they shifted the mold and they brought in more power in the inside, which they've been trying to do, but they've been using later, like 3rd, 4th, 5th round guys to do it. This year, they just went straight for a guy in the 1st round, and that has changed everything. The way we talked about, the way we kind of got ripped for it in the offseason. Angel and I were really high on Mason Graham for that reason, thinking that if you bring your pressure from the middle instead of the other end, you change the entire dynamic of your defensive line and the way offenses have to block you. And that's exactly what we've seen.
They were double and triple teaming him. Miles in that Raiders game.
There was one play where he was on the other side, and he actually made it to the other side of the field and still got the tackle on the running back.
And he was lining up in front of the center as well.
Yeah.
When they don't have these guns on defensive line, and don't get me wrong, they didn't just add Mason Graham. Mike Hall, like we said, is coming around. Like all of them are all of our veterans on the defensive line. These guys look incredible. And what that's done is, in the past, you've had Miles trying to come in and another defensive end or pass rusher coming from the other side, and guys just step up in the pocket. And for the first time now, there is no pocket to step up into, and now Miles is, whether he's just getting in clean for the sack or whether he's chasing somebody down, it just gives a much more balanced defensive front than we've had. And it allows these other young guys that the Browns have found, Isaiah McGuire, Cam Thomas, who everyone wanted to cut for one mistake 2 weeks ago, and of course Alex Wright, who missed this game but has been good enough to earn himself a 3-year extension. Like, those guys get to shine and develop rather than being behind an older veteran. And the defensive line is just the most balanced we've seen in this new Browns regime, and probably in my lifetime that I can remember.
Did you guys bring up McGuire?
Yeah,
I was stepped out for a second. McGuire.
Yeah, we just got these. Yeah, we've just got these guys. Alex Wright, McGuire, even Cam Thomas has looked good. Like, we're letting the young guys hit their potential rather than hiding them behind a Zadarius Smith, who's a great player, but we are not getting the full development out of our other guys and maximizing them with the money spent on a guy like that. So, and by the way, just one more side note on Myles Garrett sacks. The next person in line right now is Brian Burns, followed by Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson with 13, 11, and 10.5 sacks. Micah Parsons is doing really well in Green Bay with 10 also. But we're looking at 10, 10.5, 11, 13. Giant gap, Miles with 18. Everybody else is a sack or a half away all the way down the list.
And that wasn't that way 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. For those wondering where Watt is 7.
He got what?
He is 7.
Yeah.
TJ Watt.
7, Chad.
Don't start.
7.
Don't start.
7.
Don't start with those fans. Don't start with those fans.
7, Chad.
7.
Those fans, a little southeast of us, don't want to hear it.
Yeah,
don't want to hear it.
He has
This guy's been the better
sacks.
pass rusher his whole life.
And by the way, they extended him this year, and he has 7 sacks. But that he's the highest.
Malik Collins is 16th on this list with 6.5.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, I mean, That was a good bargain sign. We talked about Carson continues to make a case for rookie of the year, right? Or even freaking defensive player of the year at this point. Probably coming second or third.
He is defensive rookie of the year. I think like he would have to fall off a cliff for that not to be the case. And he just, I mean, like I said, they don't have that many weapons in the Raiders, and Ashton Genty is one of them. And he's just where he needs to be all the time. He's always he's always where he's supposed to be. And for a young defender playing a very complicated position, like I just continue to be blown away with how good he is. He hit another pretty good, not his highest rated game, but another good PFF score. He's on film. He's always in the hole before the running back gets there. It's just he does like such an incredible job.
He reminds me of Nick Chubb, kind of, where he could find that hole and make a big play happen out of it. Unfortunately, this defense put a stop to that. I mean, he had a couple nice runs. I was scared of him, honestly. If anybody, that's who I was going to be afraid of, because our run defense usually, especially on the road, is
their offensive
not
line
good.
is as bad as ours. Which is
I was going to say the big thing too, though, is you look at what defense has done against us to stop Quinshon Judkins, and it's just stack everybody up in the box. The Browns haven't had to do that, A, because their defensive line is excellent, and B, because Carson and Bush, who is also having an incredible year. I wish they had re-signed him before his price had gone to whatever it must be now, because they've
I was about to bring it up
completely
'cause James
revitalized
brought
his
that up in the
career.
comments.
Yeah, I wanted him re-signed before the season because I thought what he did last year could have earned him like a reasonably priced extension. I get why they didn't, but now I'm like, I still would like him re-signed, but he's going to be a lot more expensive. He's been so good here, and him and Carson are just they allow this Browns defense not to have to change what they're doing for mismatches against great running backs because they're just there. And if a team can run against us, it's because our edge rushers get in and they can run around the edge and try to, get around somebody like Denzel Ward who struggles to tackle a running back on the edge. Our new cornerback Campbell is a little bit better at that. But the idea is,
I'm loving that guy.
our idea is they got to go outside because they're not going to get an inside run, not against this team.
Yeah. While we're on Bush, I'll bring up something. You bring up a good point. They should have signed him because there's a couple of things that might hurt him. He does have a court date at the end of the year because of a DM, supposedly.
Which is exactly why I said I get the reasons why they didn't resign. You're not going to give a guy an extension while he's under investigation for a criminal. You're just not going to do it. It's a stupid move.
He's had this year. He's had 75 tackles, 6 for loss, 2 sacks, 5 pass breakups, an interception, and a touchdown.
He's been awesome. It's his best year, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
And I love that he was a Steeler and he failed there, and now he's succeeding here
because
we've seen that go the other way enough times for other teams. So.
Do you think a player like that would be like, well, I haven't had success anywhere. Jim Schwartz scheme fits me perfectly. Even if I get $1 million or $2 million less, I want to be known for Pro Bowls and hitting my quotas of where I get bonuses. I think that can.
And we still don't know for sure. I mean, JOK is calling his comeback, but we don't know for sure that he can. From my perspective, as like a PT doc, I don't know for sure that he'll be back. It's just a very unpredictable injury. So, like, if I've got a guy that I like as much as I like Bush on the field, I'm prone to re-signing that. But you're right. I could see a situation where he's like, this is where I'm successful. I do well here. I like it here. I like my teammates. I would rather play here. The difference is, even if he took a little hometown discount, he's still going to be more expensive than he was before, because he's way better than last year. Last year, his best year was with us, but this year's even better. It's notably better.
And
Tyson,
go ahead, Mike.
I was just going to say, Tyson Campbell, since joining the team in October, has accumulated 21 tackles, 11 solo, 1 forced fumble, an interception, a pick 6. It's across 5 games with 4 pass deflections.
That's so good for such a short time.
Huge,
right? I remember questioning this move. I was like, I just think Newsome seems like he's had the better career. Newsome is outplaying him this year in 2025. And I had to reach out to people to say, I had to reach out to people that do a lot of film study or people that knew Jacksonville to say, what is the deal with this? And the answer I got was Campbell was better in Jacksonville when we were playing a man defense. The reason he's not good is because we have taken him out of that. And so like it gave me a little relief, but I was like, I really just want to know the reason. And had nobody told me, we'd see it now and we'd say like, oh, he's playing better in this team.
On Saturday's show, you guys brought up you guys questioned Andrew Berry a little bit, and I hopped in, and I couldn't spend a long time because I have sick kids. But part of the Andrew Berry is not just the draft; it's the ability to pick up players like Devin Bush, the availability to trade a Newsome who hasn't played well at all in Jacksonville, and get him for a player who's still under contract, who's playing better now. And then on top of that, you had his best contract, his best draft this year. And to sit there and for people to say there's some questions there, I would say I disagree. I think you bring in, if you get rid of Kevin, that's fine. I'll argue. I'm kind of coming back to my realization where I think we need to keep Kevin because if you keep Shedeur, you need to keep Kevin. But Andrew Berry, I think, was young. He made some mistakes. He's learning from it.
Yeah.
And I would like to reap the benefit of my sadness the first 2-3 years with him because I think he's becoming better each year he goes by.
Yeah.
I mean, that goes with not having number 1 draft picks, but also with all the undrafted free agents that he has signed to this team that have actually, some of them have worked, some haven't. It's just it's the way the world works, unfortunately.
And again, the reality is you should question Kevin. He's made some mistakes, and week by week we can question him on game plan, play calling. He gave that up now, but game plan, usage of certain guys, the team's discipline, you can question Andrew Berry. That is fine. In fact, you should. He's also made mistakes. The question is, we should not be nonchalant about just firing them without asking, do we know we can get somebody better here? And the mistakes he made, are we getting improvement to those, or are those fixable, or is there like a glaring weakness that we just can't get over? And like, this is not going to be all like cherries and rainbows. Like Kevin's great, Andrew's great. Like you guys, especially in the last couple shows, and then me at various different times, not as much lately. Like we've had our questions. Again, you should. These guys will make mistakes. The big thing is like, do those mistakes deserve firing, or do you look at those as this is one of the younger coaches in the league and one of the youngest GMs in the league, and are they even at their prime? And I'm not saying that they are. I'm saying like it's worth asking. Like, is their career over, or can they still keep getting better? Barry's absolute best draft, regardless of how many missing picks he's had in the past, was this year. Like I'm just not looking to fire him after what he did this year with free agents, trades, draft picks. This is not the year. It's like I made the analogy online on X. It's like firing a player after his breakout season. Like if a guy has struggled for a little while and then he finally shows you what you need to see, is that the time when you fire him, or do you want to see more? And that's what I'm getting out of Barry. Kevin's on a little different trajectory. His highest seasons were not right now. They were in the past. But like Barry's best season was probably now.
Yeah. And now he's
so
getting
not
2 first-round picks. He's
right.
Two
So this is
first-round
not when I'm
picks.
looking to ditch him.
And last year he picked 2. He hit on his first 2 picks. He hit on Mason, and he hit on even a lot of us question. 3 because Junkins. Sorry.
Possibly
Carson
4, Chad.
Yeah, possibly.
4. I'm just saying high pick. Like, 4. You love that.
So I'm saying like that's what I'm saying. Like if he can give, and everyone questioned Carson because no one knew who the heck Carson was. At least I didn't. Like who the heck is this dude?
We all talked about that
Become
after he picked him. I'm like, linebacker was not on my bingo card anywhere in this draft, let alone
it was for mine because of
first 2
JOK.
picks.
Like that, you needed
I
somebody
just
to
didn't
cover.
think like
I didn't think it would be
anywhere
that
high. Yeah, it was 5th rounder. We're like, we can bring this guy in like we did like Tony Fields or whoever.
Everybody, I think 95% of people thought they would go offense the first 2 picks.
No, because so
And
after
they did totally different.
After we
Both.
drafted him, I went to our draft guide immediately.
Yeah.
That night we got home from JB's at the draft party. I went to that, and then I watched this kid's highlights from his last year because the years before that he wasn't
Only had one
shining
good year.
star. Right.
That made me nervous,
Yeah.
honestly. I was like, he only had
Yeah.
one good year in college. What is Andrew Barry doing? One of their like guardrails is like a lot of college success. But it is worth saying, like, you look him up. I was happy to see when we talked about after that they had a first round grade and that they got him at 33. Obviously, that's basically a first round grade. You're gonna find first round grade guys there. But to Angel's point, none of us anticipated it that high. None of us mocked it. That we all did a bunch of mocks. None of us mocked the linebacker that high. Just nobody had him on the radar. And I think the Browns fan base as a whole, from the immediate X reaction, was like, who? What are they doing? And now it takes you a minute to go like, oh, okay, my bad. That is fine.
Yep.
That pick is
We were
fine.
wrong.
And it's crazy. You want to know something funny? Is the linebackers page on the draft guide starts at 49. That's Carson Schwarzenegger's number.
Hmm.
He was 848. Carson Schwarzenegger draft or picked to go in round 2 or 3.
An 848. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been a pleasant surprise. We're going to move on to. We put a poll up on X this week of I believe it's should Shedeur be the starter? What was the poll?
Is Shedeur your
franchise
franchise quarterback?
This is brought to you by Lego Heads Barber Saloon. Go to Lego Heads Barber Saloon in Solon, Ohio. Let Marlon know we sent you. Get a haircut and a beard
Solon.
trim and look good.
Berea.
Berea, Ohio. In Berea, Ohio, 5 minutes away from the Browns practice facility. But here's your answer, guys. 69% of the voters out of 67 votes think Shedeur can be your franchise quarterback. What is your guys' take on that?
Shocked. I'm so shocked that many people that quickly were like, done.
I'll tell you why. Listen, it's not only that, it's all the Browns fans that we have now just because of Shador Sanders. It is a global thing. It's going to happen. It's the Raiders.
Yeah, this was on our
on.
page. This is on our page, but it is added to Shador Sanders and it is hashtag Browns. So there's Browns fans, but there's also probably a ton of Shador people too on this.
So
we put it
I'm
up
going to
for
show
a
you
day.
guys. So after the draft, I went to a customer's house and he gave me something that he made a bunch of. And it's a coaster, okay? On one side of the coaster, it says Shador the Shredder Sanders, okay? When you have a bad game, turns into Shador the Shitter Sanders.
So that's the fan base. That's actually that's a representation of the fan base.
I've kept it on Shredder on my desk this entire time.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it's I would say I was just surprised that so many people were like, yeah, fully on board. I thought it'd be around 50-50.
I'm not going to say that I'm fully on board yet. There's a lot you still have to prove. That again, that was the Raiders. There is so much more you have coming, even though the schedule got easier or is getting easier for the most part.
Yeah, thank God.
You still have a lot to prove, man. Fortunately for you, you had a couple really great passes, and that I can't wait till we talk about Jerry Jeudy's drop.
They're coming up.
So you can't put all the blame on him. The game was. I love the kid right now. I do. A win is a win, no matter what. But there's a lot left, man.
Yeah, we're going to get into Sanders. Let's talk about Sanders by the numbers real quick. Mike, I sent something over to you, and I forgot to send it to WhatsApp. But while you get that, I'm going to bring up some stuff. Sanders, I'm on Sanders' board. Actually, I was going to do something today, but I changed my mind because I realized it would be an emotional decision, and I don't want to break something that means something to me. It'll make sense later if he continues to play. Going off of Sunday's game, I was a fan that was like, this is it. We found our guy. We found him. We found our guy. This guy, I'm going to go buy a jersey. I'm going to go buy a chain. I'm going to go all Shedeur in, right? And then today, as I was at home off work, I was like, let me look. And I texted Chad. I'm like, I'm about to look into some numbers real quick. So I went into PFF, and it brought me back down a little bit. Because I realized as a fan, I want Shedeur to be the guy so much. I want to be Shedeur. And I think he can be the guy. So he is not the guy. It's only one game. Only one game. He did things that Dylan can't do. 3 plays separates him and Dylan. If you look at the stats of how the gameplay happened and where the throws were, 3 plays, 3 explosive plays. Now let's look at this real quick. I'm going to pull this up so I can see because my eyes are bad. If you look at this chart, the pass chart, majority of his passes were beyond the line of scrimmage, past the line, the opposite line of the line of scrimmage, behind. And plays happened from athletic ability to good blocking that helped Shedeur out in his numbers. As you get further down the field, you can match up perfectly. If I were to say, hey, and you would take out the outside right away, because that would not be a Dylan Gabriel throw. If you were to take that away, I would put that up. I said, whose pass chart is this? You would say Dylan, right? Because this looks like a typical Dylan Gabriel passing scheme play.
The one difference between him and Dylan is that one pass to Isaiah Bond. If by chance Isaiah, by the way, incredible catch, but if by chance, and I'm not going to be like, he wasn't good if you just take this one pass away.
No, I'm not
what I'm saying is, if Isaiah had done what a lot of our receivers have done to Sanders, Gabriel, and Flacco, and that's drop that pass, his stat line would look pretty rough today.
Yeah,
pretty bad.
That's my point.
Including this.
So when I logged on to PFF and I got a dose of reality, I realized, let me take this back a little bit. I love Shedeur. And as a believing Christian, I want him to succeed because he talks about his faith, which I personally selfishly love. And I know that's a non-fan take. That's just my take. I love his upside. I love the fact that he threw the ball downfield to Isaiah Bond. I do also love his decision making at times, but I do think there's some things that are very concerning when it comes to already projecting him to want to be your franchise quarterback. Now, this is just one game. Now here's some encouraging things I'll say before I say some bad stuff. He did not float back.
He did once.
One time. The coaching staff worked well on him on that. So if you want to sit there and say fire Kevin and Tommy did a great job this week teaching him step up in the pocket, because he changed that from the preseason to the Baltimore to the Vegas. Big improvement. But against the blitz, he completed 2 of his 5 passes, generated 69 yards. Both of those completions moved the chains, so he played better against the blitz than not the blitz. So when he
you have to get rid of the ball faster, yeah.
When he had protection, he struggled. My thinking is, now I'm not a big football guy. I'm trying to get there where I can understand tape and understand schemes and stuff. But I believe he struggled when there were more people out in the field covering. And it was harder to make a decision then.
Can I add a piggyback on that? I think one of the other things that help explain that is, if you watch Shedeur play a little bit in college, which I think most of the Browns fans have a little, either because they were looking for a quarterback before the draft, like we knew we were going to need one, or because we drafted him and then people kind of backtracked and looked. You'll find that those plays when he gets blitzed is when he rolls out and does something out of this offensive scheme, and that is very comfortable for him to bootleg out or to break out of the pocket and try to make a play on the run. In fact, so comfortable that you saw several occasions where that's where he almost looked the calmest, and you saw him like waving receivers or pointing and like almost directing. And so I would say, along with the fact that you said it's easier because there's not everybody out there covering, and he can kind of make his own move. The other thing is that's something he did chronically especially in Colorado. And so he probably is like, oh, I rolled out to the right, done this a million times to Hunter. I'll just throw it to Bond the way I would have there. And so I think that's just an extra on why he was able to do that a little differently.
Do you guys want to know why we won this game? Chad's we're ready to argue, Chad. Ready to
scored
argue?
more points.
We definitely scored more points, but 2 reasons we won this game. Shador Sanders is at quarterback, and Paul DePodesta is gone. Yeah.
Paul B.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, according to Paul DePodesta, he doesn't get to call our plays anymore, so that's why that makes sense. I get to. I'll just say this. I'll give. Are you still going, Angel? Because like this is pretty good. I want to cut you
clean
off.
Pocket.
You want me to pull back up?
In the clean pocket, generated meaningful. Under a clean pocket, Shedeur struggled to generate meaningful production. 6 of his 9 attempts were for 93 yards and a touchdown from a clean pocket. Posted a passer rating of 137. But the underlining process didn't match the efficiency of the box score line. His average depth of target with a clean pocket was 6.6 yards. That's Dylan Gabriel numbers.
Mm-hmm.
That is Dylan Gabriel numbers. Dylan's 5 to 8 yards passing.
Let me ask.
I think his exact number and I don't know if this was after his last game, but the last number I remember seeing for him was 6.9 depth per target.
So the combination led him to have a 50.4 clean passer rating, which ranked him 26 out of 27 quarterbacks. When he had a clean pocket, though his passer rating was high, his explosive plays were low because he has to play within structure. So I'm just saying this is something he still has to work on to be a franchise quarterback. He needs to play with a clean pocket.
I'm glad you're the one saying this, to be honest, because everybody thinks I love Dylan Gabriel and hate Shedeur. So I'm glad I'm somebody that they know really. Somebody that they know really likes Shedeur and has not been a fan of Dylan. I'm so much more happy that you're the one pointing out these facts. If they came from me, people just be like,
because as a
you,
podcaster,
Chad, you hate him.
This is why I love being a podcaster, because as a fan, I would go crown him, right? I would bought his jersey. I would be wearing a gold chain. But as a podcaster, I have to be real and I have to be honest. I can't be just a fan. I'm a fan of Shedeur. I love Shedeur. I hope against San Francisco he improves all this. But to be fair, I would have done the same thing to Dylan. And I cannot not be fair. One thing I have in my marriage, other than not cheating on my wife, is being fair. It's like, wife, we gotta be fair. If I do something, I gotta say sorry.
You just fed a vegetarian chicken.
Hey, she wanted it. She said, "This looks good. Let me eat." I said, "It's chicken, though, honey." She said, "I don't care. I'm hungry," and she ate it, and she liked it. By the way, so that's a big shout out to that.
Yeah,
shout out to the hoagie's place. Yeah,
yeah. You want a hoagie that can make a vegetarian eat chicken? You found your spot, ladies and gentlemen.
The original cheesesteak and hoagies. Guys, real quick question. This is me speaking real and from a fan's perspective. I have never, ever in my life seen Miles smile like that after one single play.
I agree.
It seemed like it brought the whole team
100%.
together.
Yep.
I'm not saying that Shedeur is the answer and nor a franchise quarterback at this point, but damn, that picture of Miles smiling like that spoke 1,000 words.
100% agree. And that's something that's analytics and stats can't bring. It's the fact of bringing hype and unity to a team and bringing teams some type of motivation to play even better. I think that defense played even better because they saw Shedeur throw passes they haven't seen in years. Miles hasn't seen a quarterback throw, other than Joe Flacco, but a young guy throw passes like that in years, and it motivated him.
I'm keeping that comment up.
We also have to understand as fans, we're going to take this one game. We're going to expect him to be better against San Francisco, and if he's not, we're going to be disappointed. I'm not saying that he will be this bad against San Francisco because, in my opinion, San Francisco is a Vegas. It's the same defense. They have the least sacks in the league. They have 15 sacks on the season. So if Shedeur is going to get the ball out, and if he's going to have time to get the ball out, he's going to have time at home where the defense plays even better. And if he doesn't generate plays in the pocket within rhythm and structure, even better than he did against the Raiders, then we got to start understanding why Kevin and them had pause putting him in to begin with. That makes sense? Or am I being emotional?
No, you're being emotional, but also your logic holds up. I think it makes sense. The best way to approach
we
this
stumped
without
Chad here for
everyone.
a second.
The best way to
It's like,
approach this.
dang,
That's
Angel
never
messed me
happened.
up when he came in and wanted
I just
to
think
love on him, but
I
he's
want to
kinda,
say, what's the best way to approach this without getting just crushed in the comments? Okay, so the best
gonna
way I
get
can approach
crushed.
this is with facts. There's nothing I can, no opinion
yeah,
here,
facts. Yeah.
and I'll give my opinions afterward, but no opinions to start. Okay, Shador Sanders. Yes, it's about watching. I think you made a great point. Like, you have to see what's out there. It's not just straight stat lines. But I think it's worth looking back at the stat lines too, because we know what Shador Sanders was on his first start after they gave him the start, and we know Dylan Gabriel's. Shador Sanders' completions were 11 out of 20. It's about 50% completion. Dylan Gabriel's, after his first start ever in a short week on the road in London against a much better team, I think we'd all agree, than the Las Vegas Raiders, 19 for 33.
Wait, there were
Shador's
shorter expectations out there.
passing yards.
I've been
Passing
waiting.
yards for Shedeur, 209. Passing yards for Dylan, 190. That won't surprise us. He doesn't. He throws shorter. He didn't throw any big play to like raise up that number. He didn't have his explosive Judkins run to like shoot that average up. So like that one tracks. He doesn't throw the ball down the field as much. Passing touchdowns for Dylan in his first start, 2. Passing touchdowns for Shedeur, 1. Interceptions for Dylan against Minnesota, 0. Interceptions for Shedeur, 1. Passer rating for Dylan, 94. Passer rating for Shedeur, 87. Dylan Gabriel's PFF score after week 1 was what was it? I had it up here. It wasn't great.
It was, no, I'm thinking about the ESPN had him at
63.
7,
Yeah, so
okay.
so 63 for Dylan after his first game. Shedeur, 51.
Yeah.
So my point is,
6'7".
all that 6'7",
Sorry,
all
I had
that
to do it.
was against, I would say, a better team in a harder environment. It was in London. It was on a short week practice.
Short
it was
week.
without a mini like little half game rehearsal the week before. So
Come on, are these puns intended or what?
So on the numbers, Shador Sanders didn't do anything numerically to impress me, and which is why, like, and it's against, was the Raiders with the 31st ranked defense in the league? Like, it's against essentially, I mean, them and the Dolphins are like tanked at the bottom with the Bengals.
Get him, Chad. Get him.
And so that's my by the numbers like analysis is like, yeah, guys, temper your expectations. This was a mediocre performance against a terrible team.
Yeah.
But in the context of and comparing to Dylan, which by the way, I've been telling people all season, this is never going to be a competition between Dylan and Shedeur. What this is, and the only reason I'm bringing it up is like we were very hard on Dylan for doing more in all of these numbers than what Shedeur has done. But I will say people were pretty excited about Dylan after that first game, overshooting expectations. His problem was he never did anything different for 5 games, and like he needed to do something different and improve. And now we have a clean slate, and we're excited because there's hope because we haven't seen Shedeur, so maybe he will improve. What I would say on the opposite side of that, though, before everybody destroys me in the comments, is when you do watch the game, we saw the one thing we were looking for. This podcast harped on is he ran backwards and did silly college things the whole time, and that looked different. I don't care that that was against the Raiders because he still could have done that. Number 2 thing we were looking to see was, will he take shots downfield, whether he accomplishes them or not? And he did that. And I don't have to look at anything else. The rest of his performance was mid, guys. It was just okay, even for a rookie, because this was one of the worst teams he'll play. I think literally the only team that compares is the Titans, and I'm not even sure their defense is as bad as the Raiders defense.
Cam Ward
they're
is progressing well, though.
Yeah, every team Dylan played, aside from Miami, was a better defense than what we saw yesterday. And I know this was on the road, but that seems to affect our defense more than our offense. And it was in a dome in a great environment for him. I'm sure we saw on TV there was tons of Sanders support there. There always will be on the road. People like him. And I would say to Angel's point earlier, yeah, that's one of his biggest selling points is people like him, and he's going to give us support all over the globe. He's going to give us annoyances all over the globe because some of his fans are psychos, but the ones that aren't, he's going to give this kid a boost. So I would say on the negative side, the numbers were mid. On the positive side, we saw exactly what we needed to see for his first start for me to go, okay, I get why they're starting him again, and I get what we'll be looking for the next time. We're gonna hope. I'm not looking for better. That would be my difference between my take and yours, Angel, is I think the 49ers, we think of the 49ers like we think of the Ravens as like, oh, they're the 49ers, they're a good defense. They're not. They're not a good defense.
No, did you see that quick clips? He called you a psycho. You're a psycho.
No, whoever you're talking to,
also
stop it.
Walter, go back to the point of they said he pulled Dillon out the goal line. They did that with Dillon a couple of times, mainly one come to Miami where Jenkins got a touchdown. So, and again,
you're finally playing a crappy defense like the Dolphins, and you expect him to give Dillon a bone, and that's not how Kevin works. He's not doing this for his quarterback. He's doing it for the team, and he saw an opportunity to say, we can actually do a little bit of a wildcat here and it'll work. And it did the same thing. And again, Sanders is starting now, and I think it's safe to say earned the start. I think it's safe to say he did the things we needed to see. I agree. Mike has said several times in the show, but it was against the Raiders, and that's true. The whole show could be capped with the idea that you're playing one of the worst teams in football, and it's a very good situation for him. Guess what? Good, because we have a guy that we all looked at as developmental, and the last thing you want to do is shove him out there against the Steelers or, shove him out there against, a very difficult to read Vikings defense or some of the other, Green Bay with we beat them somehow, but those are better defenses. That's not who you want to walk your rookie starter in, whether it's Shedeur or Dillon or Dart. You would much rather them go in against lighter competition, take a breath, and have things to build on rather than just having him get crushed and having to spend the week dialing it back and being like, this is how we correct everything. So for everybody that's taking a victory lap, we have a lot more to see. You should probably dial it back. But for everybody that's out there hating on this kid, I mean, we asked very few things of him. We just said, go out there, execute an NFL offense like an NFL quarterback, and that's exactly what he did.
Exactly what he did.
I'm going to stop you right there, though. 1 second. You can never, ever. That's like telling a girl to calm down. You can never tell a Cleveland Brown fan to dial it back. Sorry.
Never. Especially a Shedeur fan that is a Cleveland fan because he's only a Shedeur fan. No, I agree. Walter is hitting some points in the YouTube chat. San Francisco is ranked 23rd on defense. So there's a chance where Shedeur does play well here. And he needs to because this defense isn't as good. And to Mike's point, it's the Vegas Raiders. We would say if it was the Vegas Raiders and he played poor, man, it was the Vegas Raiders and he still played poor. So the fact that he played above his competition and played better than the defense he was playing speaks volumes. I am excited to see him grow. I was planning on canceling my YouTube subscription live TV, just canceling it because if Dillon would have kept playing, I was done. But the fact that Shedeur's playing brings me excitement and hope. Even if we lose, the thought of him still throwing downfield, making exciting plays, making the offense look fresh again, it's encouraging. And if you can win some games, and hopefully, God willing, you can draft a team around this kid and make him even better as the years go on because you develop him. I mean, that's what I want. I really want to see this. This is what I dream of when I go to bed. Shedeur holding up that Lombardi trophy saying, I told you I was going to do it, everybody. All you haters, here you go. That's just my thought.
Keep talking. I'm almost there.
Yeah, and by the way, I know he reads the headlines, and I wish he would stop, but I do like that he has a chip on his shoulder, and I honestly think that is never going to go away. He's always going to be like, I was a 5th-round pick. They asked him in his press conference, and I did not like his press conference. I brought this up to Mike. I don't want to get into it, though, because I don't want to crush a kid. He's been dealing with, a lot of people loving him, a lot of people hating him. It's a stressful situation. But what I will say from the press conference that I did like was he brought up somebody said, like, how do you feel about this? Because the Raiders passed on you, and he did not take the bait. He basically said, every team in NFL passed on me, and every
times.
one of them did it up to 5 times, and I'm not going to forget that. And that is what I want him to focus on. I don't want him to read the week-to-week clippings. I don't want him to listen to people like me talking on podcasts. What the hell do I know? I don't want him to
don't listen to
to
our
like.
show.
I don't want him to listen to like. We have a little section at the end of the show, which I knew was going to be a long one, about like media takes post game. I don't want him listening to Jim Rome and Colin Cowherd and all of these guys. But I do want him to hold on forever to the fact that 5 rounds passed and nobody but the Browns until the 5th round were willing to jump in and take him. And, we talked about like, oh, well, the Raiders offered to take him in the 5th round. The Raiders picked like 160th. We jumped them to take him. I think part of the reason he was like, I don't want to pick you is he probably already knew, oh, I've heard from the Browns. They've reached out to my agent. They're looking to come up and get me. I'd rather go there than you to jump up and
Did you
get
see Andrew
me.
Berry give him a hug after the game in the locker room?
And he didn't even make a joke. He didn't even like push him off and like, I suck. Yeah. Andrew Berry likes him. It looks like Kevin likes him.
It was cool there with his dad to watch him win his first NFL game. I want to see more. We all want to see more.
We did the drinking game, by the way, like the Taylor Swift drinking game. Like every time they showed Dion, we all did a big cheers at the bar and took a drink. It was pretty funny.
That's
It
why
was a lot.
It was really
yeah,
cool.
that's pretty tiz. I was tipsy. I was a little tipsy.
Yeah, it was really cool to see that. The camera, him hugging him in the stands, being proud of his son. As a dad myself who just had his son, like I hope one day that would be me, like, yeah, that's my son. And then him, a lot of people probably didn't see this, but after the game in the tunnel, he hugged his son, Shedeur. He said, "You did good, but there's some things you left on the field." And he broke it down with him. I heard a little bit. He said, instead of going long this play, you should have checked it down. There's a guy open. Like his dad was sitting there saying, "You did good, but there's some things you can need to improve on."
I feel like that was probably his whole life. His dad's probably always been like, yeah, good job, but also be better. Like that's just the vibe of his dad, right? And the Browns are going to cover all that. Everything his dad talked to him about, he's going to hit in the film room over and over again. And it's just like almost a reinforcement that like
that's what makes
somebody
me
he
believe
believes
he's
in.
Going to be better.
And guys,
he's going to be better because he has that
he will
drive.
be better.
He wants to be.
We all said he would be better this week.
Why? Yeah.
We all said he would be better this week than he was last week because the competition, but also because of the week of practice, but also because as his career goes on, maybe he won't be better every single week. He's going to have down weeks, guys. Everybody does. But he's nowhere near his prime. He was a prospect who did not play NFL style football in college. That's why we've been saying the entire season Dylan was ahead of him because he played for more schools. He played in more diverse offenses. He just had a head start on NFL style offense. And so Sanders is getting that, and we expect him to be better. The 49ers, as I brought up earlier, so I saw that some people in the comments mentioned that the 49ers defense is better than I think. I'm just going off, and there's a lot of different metrics. I like yards given up because I think that tells more about the whole defense and not like turnovers and you got great field position, punt returns. But PFF I like because they have the Browns ranked 1 or 2 in defense throughout this whole season. And they're up there with the Rams, who I think are also a great defense, and then the Lions, the Packers. So, like, I trust this ranking because I like the guys they have at the top and the bottom. The bottom, they have the Bengals, who we played, and we know their defense is not very good. They have the Raiders. Then they've got the Giants, the Cowboys. Then they've got the 49ers, the Commanders, and Dolphins. Then the Chicago Bears, who we also play, the Bills, who we also play. So we're not in that order, but we're really looking at a situation where, like, almost each week, Sanders is going to face a defense slightly better. So if his progress on the offense matches this defense is getting a little better and a little better, so there's no surprise to some people, they've got the Titans as the 16th. So we're looking at upcoming games, the Bears 8th, the Bills 10th, the Titans 16th, and then we're like growing in defensive ability as this kid grows in his offensive acumen. And I think that's such a good situation for him where each week he's going to face a slightly more difficult defensive opponent while he gets more and more chance to get more of the playbook, more film study, more first team reps. Like it can't go any better for him in terms of like him getting development and us getting like an eye test and a stat test of, is this our guy? Because like I said, it's never going to be him versus Dylan. It's him versus the field of franchise quarterbacks in the NFL, and it's him versus next year's draft based on whatever draft position we get in. He is in the driver's seat. He plays well enough. We may not be able to draft a quarterback. He wins, like you said,
I hope
3
not.
more games. We may not be able to draft one, and we might be okay with that if he's winning games. So
I want to bring up something. We got 5 minutes left, guys. I want to bring up something here. Whether or not this affect Dylan Gabriel or Shador Sanders, obviously the wide receivers are a problem. I don't know if that's the plays we're running or the quarterback at the helm at that point, but what the hell did Jerry Jeudy do this week when he finally catches a wide open pass and stops and jumps in the air like a goofy idiot for some reason, and then gets the ball punched out?
He's trying to do a stupid juke. You're not Allen Iverson, man. Just run.
And the
You're not
thing
gonna
is, he
cross
had
anybody.
like 20 yards ahead of him. Like he could
I
have
think
gotten
he
to
saw
the
guys
12.
coming at an angle. He saw guys coming at him at an angle. He thought, I'm going to do a little jump, like I'm going to land and cut left. They'll all slow down 1 second, and then I'm going to just run past them. And he just has so little awareness of his surroundings that he didn't hold the ball because he didn't realize there was somebody coming up on him from behind. Like as he's making this decision in his head, he had no idea there's somebody behind him chasing him down. He's just thinking, everybody behind me probably gave up on the play. Gee, I wonder why he would think that. And 2, he's just trying to make a juke. It was a stupid thing to do.
Horrible play.
But I had people wondering, like, why did he jump? What he was doing that whole like, I'm gonna jump and then I'm gonna fake like I'm gonna go left. They're all gonna pause and I'm just gonna blow by him.
Bro,
By
you've
the way,
had enough. You have a hard
never
enough
gonna
time trying to catch the ball.
Yeah,
Just
he's
don't
never
focus
gonna blow
on
by him.
trying to juke people. Get your ass
And you
tackled.
don't even have to like run out of bounds or just like go down. Like just run and get the yardage that's in front of you.
Yeah,
Like
he could have
he's
made it
playing
to
like
the
a guy that
20.
can't dribble.
Yeah.
He's playing like a guy who's struggling to dribble, trying to cross somebody over and just getting the ball stolen. And you're like, dude, just go to
Yeah,
the
he did
go
too
to the
much
hoop.
there. Listen, if you look at the play, if he would have just ran straight, maybe it would have been 25, 20-yard line. You put him in, you're in field goal position, you're going to score points, most likely score a touchdown because they would have took Shedeur out and get a wildcat. People would complain about that again. But either way, you
Good for
give what
Shedeur
the
because at
defense
least
gives
he
you.
didn't drop it because it still helps Sanders' stat line and gives a better view of like his play. If that would have been like an incomplete or something else stupid, it would have brought down other people on the team. Instead, it gives our quarterback and the rest of the team a chance to succeed, and only one guy fail on that play, and Jerry Jeudy is the guy that fails on that play.
What I'm saying next week is I think we're going to see a little bit more out of the wide receivers. Obviously, I hope we see more.
Jeudy, if you watch the 22, Jerry Jeudy gave up on 2 to 3 of those throws that Shedeur, and I don't know what's going on with him. Like these are catchable throws. Like if you would continue
He's having a bad year, he's in his own head, and he is
I don't
just
know.
spiraling.
He seems like he's mad that Shedeur is a quarterback. I don't know, go down that conspiracy road, but when they announced him and during his press conference, he's giving one-word answers, thinking, and then you come out and you put a game out like this, like you're sitting here being mad that you're not getting the ball.
I have
and
a
when
hard
you try to
time
get the
believing it
ball,
has to do with Shedeur. He's so likable and like I said,
maybe it's the amount of quarterbacks
I am
that
not
they
as
have.
hard on Dylan as others, but like it's hard to believe he's like, oh, I want Dylan back out there. Like,
Dude,
Dylan doesn't go down the field to him.
Went to my cousin's birthday party Saturday, and my grandfather and I and my uncle were sitting there talking, watching the Detroit Lions game. And he's like, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of Shedeur. I really like Dylan Gabriel. I'm like, what do you like about him, dude? What has he done for you, Grandpa, that's gotten you to that point where
if you're nervous about Shedeur, that's fine. If you're like really excited about Gabriel, like even me being like one of his lower haters, like I still just think he's a backup quarterback who is always going to end up a backup quarterback. It was just a matter of like, how many starts does he get to get experience so that he's not like a rookie back, right? But there's just, like I said, you look at the stat line. Yeah, Gabriel's first game, objectively, was better than Shedeur's. But that doesn't matter because not Gabriel versus Sanders. It's Sanders versus the field. And the difference is going to be Gabriel didn't seem to get any different or progress as he went forward. I think he'll get better. I don't think he's at his prime. But I think we're not seeing big leaps. Now, Sanders, the one thing you can do if you know Dylan's not your franchise quarterback. Now you can see Sanders and see if you have leaps. I don't think the coaches need to see it as much as we did because they see him every day. But the fact of the matter is, like, Dylan wasn't making strides. If Sanders does, then you have something different. And guess what? If he doesn't, you're probably just going to try to get somebody else. That's a bummer, though, because you'll probably have to use both of your first rounders to accomplish it. And you still probably won't get the number one guy, which means everybody should be rooting for Sanders to work because what we just bring up, the line sucks. The receivers are underperforming. I don't think the receivers suck. We need a better receiver on this team to go in this group. If you don't have to draft a quarterback, you've got 2 picks to solidify both of those units instead of using them potentially both on a quarterback.
And you
The
have
best
3
case scenario is
receivers
Shedeur is your guy.
You have 3 receivers you can target in the first round coming out in this draft. Tate,
Good ones.
guy from Arizona, and USC, Lemon, or Lemon, whatever you call him.
Tate Tyson, and Lemon.
Yeah, Tyson. So you have those 3 guys you can get a weapon. They're
And what
tall and
should
they're
be sitting there
thick
for you in the
guys.
20s.
Yeah, they're not. And I understand the comments to say put McDonald and Larvadan out there. Those are great receivers, but those guys are small. We
They're
need
great guys for a room. They're not you.
Yeah.
You need the best thing that can happen to this team is Judy becomes your number 2 option because I don't care how many people hate on him right now. He's been productive. He can be a wide receiver 2. He was even a wide receiver 1 for 1 season last year.
Let's have awesome receivers.
He needs to be different than he is now. He needs to go back to somewhere, either what he was doing last year or somewhere in between. But the best thing that can happen to him is he's not your number 1 receiver. And I don't know how you can argue this team is better.
Is saying in YouTube because Chad's done nothing but give Shedeur compliments, and he's hearing something different. It's like Chad says Shedeur is good, and Clips is hearing it. It's like me and my wife having a conversation, and I say something, and my wife interprets it in her, like, you know, how that woman, like ladies think differently type of thing. Like, did you say this? I'm like, no, I said that. I don't think Chad is hating on Shedeur at all. If anything, I think I hated on him in the beginning a little more than Chad has been. But
yeah, I'm very real with Shedeur. My take on him and Gabriel hasn't changed. I think Gabriel is a guy they looked at as a long-term backup, and they liked his ability to step in earlier with less development because he has a higher floor, and we all think lower ceiling. Shedeur, Shedeur, God, I'm just setting all these up for you. I set him up, you lay him down. Shedeur, I have not changed my opinion on him, surprisingly. Even after he went in the 5th round, I thought, well, I would say the only thing that changed my opinion is I thought he's a late 1st rounder, early 2nd round talent or prospect. When he went in the 5th round, I said, 1st rounders don't slide that far. 2nd rounders could if you're worried about him. So I changed my opinion to the people who thought he was a 2nd rounder were probably more right than the people who thought he was a 1st rounder. But my opinion on him as a player still remains the same today as it did before the season. I think he has the ability to develop into a franchise quarterback. My question will be, you got rid of Baker Mayfield because you didn't want an okay franchise quarterback. You wanted an elite franchise quarterback. I'm not sure he has changed people's opinion on that yet, unless you thought that all along. So my opinion on him is I think he can be a starting quarterback for a football team. My question on him is, do the Browns feel like he's better than Baker Mayfield? Because that's what they want. They made it very clear, and you cannot deny they had Baker Mayfield. They wanted better. So is Sanders better than Baker Mayfield, or can he be on that level? We'll find out. We've got a bunch of games left to find out.
I would hope this organization has a different view on that, saying, well, Baker Mayfield quarterback will get us to a winning record and most likely a Super Bowl with the defense that we currently have.
Yeah. I don't mean Baker Mayfield now. I mean, can Sanders be at least what Baker Mayfield was in a Cleveland Browns uniform or better? Not what he's evolved into years later.
That's what they count too. Is like, well, he wasn't here what he was not, like what he is now. He can grow into that. So if you have your little, like, be patient. Like we learned from the Baker thing. We weren't patient. He was immature. We threw him out with the baby out with the bathwater. Now he's tearing it up and Tampa, and if he was here, we probably would have been a way
Oh,
better
he didn't
team.
Sunday. He didn't tear anything up but his own self.
But he tore his shoulder
Yeah.
a little bit.
And he's
Very
fading.
bad.
And by the way, guys, before he got hurt, he was definitely fading. He had gone from one of the top quarterbacks in the league,
That's
and he was
his
coming
line,
back
though.
down to earth.
Yeah.
It's called regression to the mean. It's like things he was gonna end when this season was all said and done. He wasn't gonna be QB1. He was gonna be like QB10 or 12 or.
Yeah.
And
He's
again,
always
they
been.
wouldn't have moved on from him if they didn't see the chance to get somebody they thought was top 3. We've beaten that to death, so we don't have to get into it. But my point is, if they're not going to draft somebody in the first round next year and they have the opportunity to, it's going to be because Sanders gave them pause. And I just think he's in the perfect situation. He's in the driver's seat. If he can win enough games and personally show enough that they think, well, we don't want to waste a first round pick on like the 3rd or 4th best quarterback in this class when we could just ride or die with Shedeur for a while, then that means you get to use those top 3 picks and the 2 in the first and 1 in the second round on lineman, receiver, and you can roll. And then Sanders only has to be pretty good for us to be much more successful, and that gives him a chance to grow.
Yes.
You don't have
That's
to
the
see his final product right now.
And that's the best situation for Cleveland. This is
Grow.
my opinion. Real quick, before we have to end the show, we got one more sponsor to shout out. We're going to give our secret sauce brought to you by Cleveland Ketchup. That's right, Cleveland Ketchup. Go to clevelandketchup.com. Use the code Bearded. Get some ketchup, some nice, tasty mustard for your holidays. And let them know we're sending you. And if you don't want to go online, if your store in stores locally here, they're everywhere. Top shelf. Look at the top. I went to my local Giant Eagle, and it's on the top shelf. And it's all the bacon ketchup is always gone. The jalapeno mustard
Dude.
is always gone. It's all good stuff.
The
It's all good stuff. Try
balsamic,
it out.
the
Balsamic.
balsamic and pepper
Oh,
ketchup.
and the
Dude.
the ghost pepper
Harissa.
chips are
Oh.
fire. Literally, they'll burn your mouth and they taste good. So
I actually sent the dude 5 bags and he hasn't gotten back to me yet. So I'm wondering if he's still alive.
Oh, I forgot to do that one. Yeah, the secret sauce. So what was your guys' secret sauce for winning? Mine would be easy. Shedeur hitting the big plays. Those 3 big plays opened up Shedeur, the offense, and it caused the Raiders not to play what they, even though they blitzed them 54% of the time, highest this week of any quarterback, they still couldn't adjust to what Shedeur was doing because they were thinking that he was going to bring in the Dillon, but yet it was a Shedeur game plan. Shout out to the defense for doing that. Shedeur, sorry, not defense. Who's next?
Well, obviously not Mike.
Yeah, Mike is.
I don't know.
eating more
I think
subs.
part of the
I'm sorry.
secret.
James was asking if Lego Heads Barbershop has beard
Responded it.
oil.
Yes.
Sorry, I had a shout out.
Yes,
one for
beard
a
oil.
second
It's
there.
good beard oil. It's very, very smelly nice. Who is
I'm
your
sending
secret
one.
sauce?
Smelly
What
nice.
is the secret sauce for you, Chad?
For me, the secret sauce was just that this was a game where I think the Browns, and I've said this before, and there's been times where I've doubted it. I think the Browns are one of the better bad teams. I think they've just been lacking making the play they need to win a game, or lacking like a big play when they need it, whether it's because of the quarterback or drop pass or whatever. I think the Browns and their coaching staff looked at this game and they said, okay, this is not a great opponent. This is an opponent that we are more talented than overall. And I think they put together a game plan for a rookie quarterback that only threw the ball 21 times, put him in a position to succeed. They let the defense own this team and just said, we're going to do what we need to do on the offense to score points. We're going to let the defense just absolutely. I mean, what did the Raiders have 3 points until like the end portion of the game? Like this was a 3-point defensive effort. They got 10 sacks. They basically just, I think the secret sauce this game was putting themselves in a position to win by letting their talent beat the talent of the Raiders, and not trying to, they didn't throw 50 times. They just said, let's just be smart.
I think the secret sauce of this game was honestly Shador Sanders' first start with a full week of reps. Paul D. Podesta being gone helps, and somebody else other than Kevin Stefanski making the offensive play calls, I think helped. You see some weird different stuff in there. It's not your typical Kevin thing, which I think is not when Kevin's calling plays. I think he's kind of predictable anymore. I think with Tommy Rees changing things up a little bit might help.
I will say he doesn't seem like he has a little bit more emotion when he's not calling the plays. I feel like when he was calling plays, he was so focused that he couldn't really like emote or like converse with anybody else. And it does feel like from the sideline shots, like he's just more in it as a head coach when he's not calling the plays.
All right,
That's what he needs to do.
We're going to get out of here with this. The Sizzle Play of the Week brought to you by Bearded Bastards Barbecue Sauce. The Sizzle Play of the Week is simple, easy. The Isaiah Bond Jr. bomb from Shador Sanders, who has set up their first score of the game and totally changed the dynamic of the game. So shout out to Bearded Bastards Barbecue. Go to their website, save 15% using code Bearded15, and their sauce is pretty dope. I think we got them all, guys. Look at that. In an hour and 40 minutes.
Nice.
I'll
do an outro real quick. Big shout out everybody to
man.
Big shout out to the original cheesesteak and hoagies company. Thank you, Jesse, for sending us food tonight. It's thoroughly, really, really, really good food, by the way. Anybody that wants to get out there and try it, we might have to actually go and do a show for them. But they are in Cleveland, West Park, Homestead Falls, all throughout Ohio, statewide, from Philly to the land. Make sure you guys go check them out. If you need catering, they got it. They got food trucks. They got a food trailer. Look at that sandwich. I'm not kidding. They look better in person than they even do there. But go get 2 of those for $20. Make sure you guys check them out for sure. Go give them a follow on Facebook, TikTok. They're on as well. And yeah, thank you guys so much for the food tonight. I'm in a food coma, guys, so I'm gonna go.
Mike usually says I gotta go eat. Now he's like I gotta go sleep because
yeah.
Also, a big shout out to them because they're gonna supply Saturday's show with food. So Saturday at 10 a.m. you guys will have food at your door waiting for you guys to eat. Sorry, it's more breakfast food. It's gonna be heavy, but it's going to be these subs for breakfast for you guys.
I'm gonna tell you guys something. Last 2 months, I weighed myself and I was like 237. Okay, or 337. I'm sorry. I'm at 304.
There you go.
Thank you.
Nice.
To the original cheesesteak and hoagie company.
It should probably be brought up that it's that Mike's like 7'7", and so that weight is. It seems like, oh my god, that's an incredible amount, but then when
you're
you see
a foot
that,
off, I'm 8'8", but
he's literally taller than like all of the Browns players that we interview, and you're like, oh Jesus.
That's why I have Angel and Sam do it. I don't want to look intimidating to those guys. That's just facts. I don't want to be like, hey, what's up, man? Who's your favorite player?
Yeah, you don't want him talking to like Dylan Sampson or Dylan Gabriel. They keep him away from the Dylans.
Yeah, don't talk to Gabriel at all. I'll be like that
Gage
news reporter.
Keep Gage Larvadane away from Mike on camera.
That's Sam all day. Sam wants that interview.
But
yeah, with that being said, guys, I got to go take care of some kids and eat my sub before it gets too cold. Thank you for everybody tuning in. Thank you for commenting and all the social media platforms. Don't forget to like us and follow us on all podcast platforms, Spotify and iTunes. In case you miss a show, we'll be there every day. Or if you want to re-listen, you can do that. Either way, we'll be here next week, same time, same place. Don't forget, 10 o'clock, our Browns Morning Brew, they'll be breaking down the San Francisco matchup. Until next time, like always,
go Browns.
Do some homework, Chad. From Quick Clips, so you do homework. Bye.
Oh yeah, thanks to everybody except for Quick Clips for joining us
later, guys.
today.
We'll see you Saturday morning.